Today we are looking at the interior of this 2024 Porsche Taycan rear-wheel drive. So how much technology and luxury is packed into this cabin? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's start off the interior part of this car with the door panel. On the door panel, you'll find some soft touch leatherette on the top here, this interesting trim through here, some plastic trim through here. However, you can get this in different colors. Leather padding on your armrest with a little grab handle, and a good amount of storage down below with felt lining. You will have Taycan on your door sills, and you can get the option to get up to 18-way power adjusting seats. However, today we only have 14 ways. You do have these carpet floor mats with Porsche branding. And taking a look at the seats, these will be made of real leather, and you can get these in many different colors. Porsche lets you choose many different options for all their cars, so you can get Taycan in the headrest or Porsche logo in the headrest. Let's go ahead and get inside to check out the rest of this interior. So one of the interesting things about this car is that it still has a power on button on the left side of the steering wheel in typical Porsche fashion. However, for convenience, once you get inside and close the door, it's going to start up automatically. As far as the steering wheel is concerned, it is actually fixed in place until you put it into drive. Then you can turn the wheel. As far as the steering wheel itself, the horn button is in the center, as well as the Porsche crest. There is this interesting split piece at the bottom, and it kind of looks like these buttons are floating. As far as the gauge cluster is concerned, you'll find this very nice curved piece of glass. This looks really nice in person, and it is kind of hard to see the curve on camera, but I promise you it looks really high-end. In typical Audi/Porsche fashion, you can change a lot of things in this gauge cluster, but for right now, we have the map really big in the center of the display. As far as materials are concerned, you will find this leatherette padding right here, more of that leatherette padding here, this scratchy trim right here that kind of looks like stitching, but it's not exactly. And then you have more leather on your armrest. There is also a lot of gloss black, and if you don't option on the passenger display, then that's all just going to be a big piece of gloss black. As far as storage is concerned, this hasn't always been the best with the Taycan. You get two cup holders right here, and when you open up this armrest, you're not going to find a lot of storage space. There's a wireless phone charger where you can leave the phone on its side, and it is felt lined, but there isn't a lot of space in here. And also, this armrest just doesn't stay up. I have to hold it up right here, or else it's just going to fall into this position. Now it's time to talk about the climate controls. So in this screen right here, out of the 4 screens in this area, however, you will find a little bit of fan speed controls right here. And actually, the front passenger and the driver can control their own thing, which is really nice. You get dual zone climate control, however, you can option on a 3rd zone. And then you get heated and ventilated seats up here. You will hear a sound and you will feel some haptic feedback. However, nothing really beats physical controls. I do like the theme of screens in this car, but for some people it can be a little bit much. Now in this area, you can also find the button to automatically park the car. You will find your volume button. You can check your battery life right here. And you can also open up the charging ports and the front or the trunk. Now it's time to talk about the center infotainment system. First of all, you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is rare on new EVs like the Tesla Model S. You can also listen to music, answer phone calls, and navigate through the Porsche navigation system. The navigation system is done through a subscription, so you will have to pay every month for it. I recommend using the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because it's just going to come with your phone. Also, for other controls, it is all built in to the side of the gauge cluster. So as you see, you have your headlight controls on the stock, but it is also to the left of the gauge cluster, which I think is a pretty thoughtful trick. There is a passenger display, and while driving, the driver cannot see this. We will get into the passenger display a little bit later. Let's take a look at this interesting gear shifter. So Porsche is now moving to this mounted out of the way shifter, and I think it is good because it takes up less space. The new Panamera and the new Cayenne also have this. So when you put your foot on the brake and push all the way up, that's going to bring you into reverse. This is an interesting view right now, but you can change the different views. And the parking sensors are going crazy because my tripod is right there. And as you can see, there is even a little light in the gauge cluster. You do also have the ability to watch the backup camera, which is a pretty thoughtful feature. I do like how there is a 360-degree view, and you can spin all around the car. There's a wide-angle view, and even a 3D view. This is really responsive. However, we have a silver Taycan today, and this Taycan is white. I guess that is something that you'll have to change manually in the settings. Let's move on to the passenger side and see what your front passenger is going to get. The door panel will have the same materials as the driver's side, just less controls. You do get 3-person memory seats, which is a really bougie feature, and you have a lot of storage down below with the felt lining. The seats will also be 14-way power adjusting, and they'll have the same perforated leather with heating and ventilation. But the star of the show is this passenger display right here, so let's dive right into that. This is a $1,500 option, and you can do basically the same thing that the driver can do on the main display. You can send over the navigation to the driver if the driver needs to focus more on the road. You can listen to music, answer phone calls, connect Bluetooth headphones, and if you pay for a subscription, you can watch YouTube videos. You can't, however, hook up an HDMI like you can in some Jeeps to play video games. As you can see here, I can stretch my legs out all the way, so I have plenty of room. But let's move on to the back seats because this is kind of an interesting part. This is not what I would call fancy, especially for $112,000. A lot of these things have to be optioned on, but at least you get these really nice perforated leather seats. They surprisingly don't come with heating as standard equipment. You have to pay for that. And also in the center here, you have to pay for a third zone of climate control. So right now they're being used as vents and a storage area. Also, this middle seat does not come standard. You have to pay an extra $300 to get this, otherwise it would be used for storage. But you still get cup holders in the center armrest either way. Now let's move on to the trunk and see what you get back here. The Taycan comes standard across the board with a power opening trunk. So you're just going to push this button right down here, and that's going to open it right up. It is relatively quick, so you won't have to stand around for long. In the back here, you get 14 cubic feet, which honestly isn't amazing compared to the competition. The Tesla Model S, being a hatchback, gets about 28 cubic feet. You get 2 cubbies on either side, and in typical EV fashion, you get a ton of underfloor storage because there isn't a drive shaft or anything taking up space down there. As you can see, there's a bag here to hold your mobile charger, and I think this could be very useful because if you're renting a house for vacation and it doesn't have a wall box, then this could be very handy. But it doesn't stop here. You're just going to push this button and then push the button to open up the frunk, and that's going to pop up the frunk. It is not powered, which is honestly to be expected in a sedan like this, but you're just going to go over, reach under the Porsche crest to find the latch, and then open it right up. You're going to find about 3 cubic feet, so combined with the trunk and the frunk, you're going to get 17 cubic feet. It is felt lined, and on the side here you get 2 lights and a button to open it up in case you want to put somebody in it. Now,